I love when people are blunt and straightforward with me. And I also love constructive criticism since it can help me improve. However, I do not tolerate negative, malicious, or abusive criticism. I will never tolerate anyone who is insulting and degrades me or others. You see, criticism is when we point out another's perceived flaws and mistakes. Technically, using this definition, honesty and verbal abuse are also forms of criticism. But there are important differences. Criticism is generally meant to help someone improve. But if given incorrectly, it comes across as I am right about this, and you are therefore wrong. This leaves the other person feeling judged and cornered. Constructive criticism, however, is more useful. It is when someone makes sure they understand all sides of the situation before offering an informed opinion. As they offer their viewpoint, they clarify the positives as well as the negatives and make it clear they are only offering their own take on things. This allows the receiver of the feedback to see ways forward and to feel supported over being judged. Summary: criticism can be useful if presented fairly, although most of us tend to forget this and present it in a way that comes across as judgment. So, criticism can be hurtful despite the fact that we are trying to improve a situation or help the other person. Before I continue, ask yourself, are you using constructive criticism or are you simply throwing insults? Name-calling, labeling, and then laughing it off as if you did nothing wrong. Verbal abuse, also referred to as emotional abuse, could technically be called criticism, as the person is pointing out negatives. The difference here is that a person who verbally abuses another has no intention of seeing the positive side, considering the viewpoint of the other, or helping them improve. They have the intention, admit it or not, of hurting and controlling the person they offer their feedback to. Verbal abuses tend to criticize you as a person, not just what you did and the consequences of the action. Summary: like all forms of abuse, verbal abuse is actually a way to take power over another by belittling or hurting them. Criticism offers an opinion, versus verbal abuse makes you completely wrong and presents itself as completely right. Criticism can be thoughtless but has the intent of helping you improve, versus verbal abuse is always unkind and has the intention of hurting and belittling you. Healthy criticism happens only occasionally in a relationship, versus verbal abuse can be formed of constant criticism on a daily basis that leaves you exhausted. Criticism will be about what you have done, or the consequences of something you have done, versus verbal abuse will often criticize you as a person. Criticism can leave you feeling judged, versus verbal abuse will leave you feeling fearful. Criticism can leave you annoyed at the other, versus verbal abuse will leave you walking on eggshells around the other. Criticism is often something someone later apologizes for, versus verbal abuse is something someone denies or blames you for causing. In the meantime, swipe left or DM me to know more. Also, don't forget to share this with yourself. Thank you for watching. Follow for more content and drop us topics or questions that are important to you. I'm narrating for Gino DiCaprio.